Here's the starting lineup for Forward Madison. Please welcome their captain, number 4, Mitch Hoffman. In goal tonight, number 55, Bert Shipman. Number 22, Stephen Payne. Number 5 is Timmy Mail. Number 16, Jacob Kroll. Number 7, Isidro Martinez. Number 28 is Andrew Wheeler Amimu. Number 10, Jaden Onan. Number 24, Nazim Bartman. Number 17, Derek Gebhardt. And number 9, Christian Cheney. Forward Madison is coached by Matt Glazer. We'd also like to welcome tonight's match officials. Please welcome referee Abdul Ujaye, assistant referee Jonathan Smith, assistant referee Kevin Hewitt. Our fourth official this evening is John Motto.
USL League One is back in action. And at WakeMed Soccer Park, North Carolina FC is looking to make it 5 wins in a row as they take on the one team that is yet to lose in league play, Forward Madison FC. The best offense versus the best defense here on ESPN+. Thanks for joining us here in Cary, North Carolina. I'm Brian Ware along with Andrew Tate. And Andrew, if there was a theme for this game, it would be expression versus organization. North Carolina scored a lot of goals. Madison, meanwhile, very tight and organized. For North Carolina FC, they have been dynamic, and this guy, Rafa Mensigan, has been the star.
Huge signing in the offseason for North Carolina FC. He's got 6 of the team's 12 goals, and he's leading the league in goals for the season so far. Big pickup, but lots of attacking prowess in this team.
Yeah, Rafa Mensigan named the USL Player of the Month, and the man he's probably going to have to go up against is a former NCFC player as well, Timmy Mel.
Really looking forward to this matchup down that left-hand side, Forward Madison's right. Timmy Mel on loan last season at Chattanooga, teammates together. It'll be really good to see them. But Timmy Mel, really good player, athletic, strong, and really good on the ball in the build-up play as well.
Yeah, this is going to be a key matchup between Mensigan and Mel, but another star is Luis Perez on the opposite side, on the right side of this NCFC lineup. We'll have lineups and the kickoff next here on ESPN+.
I want to be like the pretty people on my TV.
Now you can.
All I need are gleaming white teeth.
We can help you.
Can you find the right dentist for me?
Riccobene Associates, they do cosmetic dental.
Will they hurt me?
No, they're gentle.
I'm terrified of pain.
They're the kindest in the land.
They sound great. Could you repeat their name?
Riccobene Associates Family Dentistry. Brushhandfloss.com.
So, how do you like your urgent care? At Wake Med, we have urgent care just about everywhere. Urgent care that specializes in orthopedics and kids. My Care 365, open every day of the year. Even virtual urgent care. Yup, urgent care in your jammies on your tablet. So download the Wake Med All Access app and get urgent care that's caring, convenient, and just the way you like it.
Wake Med Soccer Park as North Carolina FC and Forward Madison FC are ready for action. An excellent crowd here at the soccer park, Andrew. Let's quickly get to the lineups. First, for North Carolina FC, only one change. They've basically kept the same formation, and it's been proven to be very effective.
Yeah, and that one change comes in the back line with captain Daniel Navarro coming straight back into that centre-back spot with David Garcia, who's done brilliantly in the interim, dropping to the bench. But yeah, keeping those front players on and looking to go after this Forward Madison team that's been really good at the back.
And the partnership between Mensingen, Perez, and Anderson has made this team spark in terms of their offense. 12 goals in the last 6 games. Meanwhile, for Madison, they haven't played in almost 10 days. They make 3 changes to their lineup.
Yeah, and those changes coming throughout the team with captain Midge Osmond coming back into that back line, Andrew Wheeler-Amino slotting into midfield, and then Nazim Bartman into the attacking area with the changes dropping to the bench: Sam Brotherton, Mauro Cicero, and Aidan Macias.
So there's a look at Madison's lineup. There you see the head coach for Forward Madison, Matt Glazer, in his 2nd season with the club. 9 wins in his 2 seasons. He was previously an assistant coach with Real Salt Lake and Real Monarchs SLC. And there you see the USL Coach of the Month, John Bradford. NCFC was excellent in the month of April. 4 wins and a draw. And he's made this team humming with the signings that he's made and the system that he's put together.
Yeah, it's a really, really strong 11 that he's got out today. Then I look at along the bench as well. Brian, they've got brilliant substitutes in all positions to replace any of the players on the field. That competition, I think, is what's making this group so strong right now. But I do recall last year, North Carolina having a fantastic April, and I'm sure that's something John Bradford will be very mindful of, is that the month of May needs to be exactly the same. Keep it going from here.
Well, the key thing, the difference between this year and last year they were kind of at the same position. Started out really well, but without that depth, they kind of fell by the wayside. Now that they have the depth, can they keep this momentum going? You see NCFC in all blue, Madison in pink with a shade of blue. As we are set for action, referee Abdu Njai gets us started here in Cary. A little bit of a sharp touch from Rafa Mensingen. Immediately Madison was on the attack. They were looking for a whistle. Play continues, and Gebhardt's shot is saved by Holiday. And Chaney's rebound goes over.
And that is a let-off for North Carolina there. Some really suspect passing from North Carolina, put them in some trouble. And then here you can see the clearance from Flores just falls at the feet of a Forward Madison player, and then when it drops 8 yards out to Christian Chaney, you're thinking he's going to score a goal.
Yeah, Christian Chaney, number 9 for Forward Madison, one of Matt Glazer's key signings, played last year with Central Valley Fuego, scoring 10 goals, and 3 of those 10 was against this NCFC team last year. Scored a howitzer last year that then celebrated with a backflip.
It's the only way to celebrate, Brian.
This time NCFC wins the second ball. Rafa trying to split defenders. Can't do it.
I'd say the start from Forward Madison matches their kits, Brian. It's really, really bright. North Carolina just want to settle it down a little bit now and get into their momentum.
Yeah, they're trying to play direct here with Rafa sprinting against Stephen Payne. And no foul called. Looked like Payne had wrapped him up as he was trying to continue his run. Second ball falls to Perez, off the post. And a free kick to Madison. Wow, what a start here. Both teams with glorious chances here in the opening couple minutes.
If this is a sign of things to come, Brian, we better brace ourselves. Could be 1-1 right now. Unbelievable start.
It definitely could be.
Both teams struggling in their own defensive third in possession from the press, causing their own problems at both ends.
And I think that's one of the key things of why Oleg Sanderson has been getting the start over Garrett McLaughlin, with the way that those attacking midfielders can correlate and corroborate with each other if they get a turnover. Use Anderson's pace. Here's another chance. Wheeler Amanu, it's blocked by Navarro.
Chance a minute. Yeah, it's tough to see this one finishing 0-0, Brian, at this pace. Both teams filled with attacking pace and invention.
Yeah, Madison's has had 4 draws this year. 3 of them have been 0-0. And their last game 10 days ago against Knoxville was one of those 0-0 draws. Didn't really have that impetus. Down in Knoxville, Tennessee, had only 6 shots, and 2 of them were on target. Meanwhile, NCFC's game in Fresno against Central Valley Fuego, they had 19 shots. So it kind of shows the different dynamics between these two sides.
Yeah, I think we talked about it, didn't we? Matt Glazer's second season with the Flamingos, and he's only retained 4 players from last year, so it's a new team. They're starting to gel. Obviously really competitive, really organized, as you talk about. But the 10 days, I'm sure, to get on the training field and put some things a little bit to right will only help them moving forward.
Payne with the throw. Finds Chaney at the edge of the box. Quick cross deflected. He wanted a handball. It's cleared out by Gus Fernandez.
Chaney's trying to appeal for a handball in the box.
Now you're starting to see the offensive system that Madison plays. Looks like defensively they're going to have 4 at the back, but offensively they want Stephen Payne, the right back, to get really up, act as a wing back, which was kind of the same thing that former Madison player Mikey Maldonado played as last year. And it was great pregame seeing the Madison players talking to each other with Mikey Maldonado about their success and experience they had last year, as well as the signings that John Bradford made, and also Madison made. Tim Mell and Navarro, Benton, Saunders, they all played with Chattanooga last season, as well as Rafa. Here is Maldonado. Well, actually, it's Perez. Maldonado with the recovery. Finds Anderson, taken away though by Wheeler Amanu. And the captain sends it back to Bernd Shipman. One of the new signings for Madison. He's been the starter in goal. Good layoff by Cheney to Isidro Martinez. Now out wide to Gebhardt against Lu Young. Gebhardt left-footed cross, and Fernandez, I think, met it last, and it's going to be a corner kick. First corner kick here in the 7th minute for forward Madison.
What a start it's been. I can't believe we've played that short amount of time, Brian. There's been so much happening. You'd have to give the best chance, obviously, to North Carolina hitting the post, but in possession, forward Madison looks really fluid and fluent on the ball, moving it really well and finding the ball in good areas.
Yeah, this is the 6th all-time meeting between the two clubs. NCFC has won 3, Madison has won 1, and there's been 1 draw. There was a lot of drama in 2 of the 3 wins for NCFC. Last season, they won both of those games in stoppage time. Christian Lu Young in the 97th minute here at Wake Med. And Shaq Adams winning in the 93rd minute over at Breeze Stevens Field in Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah, the one here, Brian, the one you talk about with Lu Young goal, that was an absolute crazy game. For Madison having Mikey Maldonado sent off, going down to 10 men, but almost winning the game, and it was Nick Holiday that kept North Carolina in it at 1-1, but then from the counter-attack set up the winning goal. It was an unbelievable end to the game. I think we've almost picked up where that game left off here today.
Yeah, especially after that long throw from Maldonado, finding Perez about 40 yards away. Osman going direct, looking towards Jaden Onen, wearing the 10 shirt, spinning against Navarro, getting a free kick. And he gives the applause to his captain, Mitch Osman, for that ball. Onen, a 22-year-old out of Edmonton, England. See him trying to pirouette against the NCFC captain and getting the free kick. Onen played for 4 academies in the London area, playing for the Arsenal Academy, Crystal Palace Academy, even the Brentford Academy.
Yeah, just listening to Matt Glazer talk about him, a really bright, young English talent that's come to USL League One, and you can see he's got some quality.
Martinez with the free kick. Good header by Rafa. And Perez colliding with Payne. Play on, says Abdou Njai, our head referee, as Kroll dispossesses Rafa. Rafa having a difficult time trying to get some possession of the ball. Besides the goals that he scored, it was his ability to move with the ball that wowed so many people during the month of April, that gave him that USL Player of the Month honors. Here is Christian Lu Young, who started nearly every game at right back. Now they're going up top towards Anderson. And Tim Mell winning the header against the St. Vincent and the Grenadines attacker. Tim Mell, number 5 in pink, was a second-team All-USL defender with the Chattanooga Red Wolves. He played for Chattanooga after being sent there on loan from the Tampa Bay Rowdies. As Payne finds Onen. Onen with pace, trying to get by Fernandez. Takes him down, and the whistle does go.
Good patient defending from Fernandez there. I was worried for him as Onen moving across the line there, picked the ball up in a really good area. He looked like he was going to cause a problem, tried to nutmeg the big centre-half, but got his legs tangled up there. And once again, they look good in possession when they're going to goal. North Carolina struggling to get their centre midfielders on the ball. I'm trying to think of a time that the Luis Arriaga's touched the ball or connected a pass in there between the 3 midfielders of Cervenia, Maldonado and Arriaga. Definitely much more control at the moment.
Yeah, Cervenia also, as you mentioned, Cervenia has hardly had a touch either.
No, Brian, he was a player I was thinking coming into this game. I've been really impressed with his industry and endeavour for North Carolina, just slotted in that midfield. He's sort of the unsung hero, I think, behind the front three with Perez, Rafa, and Olex getting most of the plaudits, but he's been really good.
Yeah, with it, especially with his ability to, not only when he gets the ball, to put himself between him and his defender. That's why he's been able to win so many fouls and keep the ball for NCFC. Navarro to Fernandez. Now Flores Blanco. El Salvadorian to Arriaga. Back to Rafa. Interesting setup down here on this near sideline. Flores Blanco and Rafa kind of switching positions a little bit as Flores Blanco's a little bit of an inverted fullback to try to provide that bigger width. As Navarro switches the field, here is Rafa. Keeps it alive. Flores Blanco. Pressured by Mel. Trying to get it back to Maldonado. Now Arriaga. Rafa. Against Wheeler Amanu. Excellent crowd here at Wake Med Soccer Park. NCFC in first place in USL League One with 16 points. Forward Madison in 9th place with 7 points on the season, but they've only played 5 games.
And they've had some tough games going to Union Omaha. Going to Lexington, Kentucky, their opening home game. One Knoxville, those not easy places to go. Hyped up crowd.
Crossed by Lou Young, picked up by Shipman. You mentioned that derby that Madison has with Union Omaha. They already had a draw against them this year. I think out of the 10 times they've played, 6 of them have been draws. That is the definition of a derby. Crow. Martinez under a little bit of pressure from Cervania. So is Perez. They're trying to win some tackles, but Madison is trying to break the lines. Wheeler Amanu to Bartman. Now swinging it to Stephen Payne. Mitch Osmond, the captain. The Australian, as Mel tries to switch it towards Gebhardt. Keeps the touch over on the far side. Bartman directing traffic back to Crow. Now Martinez. Martinez with a chance, and what a goal! Isidro Martinez lights the net here in the 14th minute, and the visitors have a 1-0 lead. Holiday sprawling at that one.
What a strike that is. Tough to argue that that's deserved for Forward Madison. You can see he just picks it up. He's invited to come onto the ball, and he just, as true as you like, right down the middle of the goal, but it just loops over Holiday's head. You see he just sets himself, laces, toe down, straight through the middle of the ball, and it's past Holiday in a flash. What a strike from the cultured midfielder.
That one had venom. Isidro Martinez, in his first year with Forward Madison, gets his first goal of the campaign. He had previously played the last couple of seasons down in the Southwest with RGV Toros and New Mexico United. He actually played with RGV Toros last year when the USL Championship side defeated this NCFC squad at Wake Med Soccer Park during the Open Cup game.
Yeah, he's a player I've watched for a number of years, Brian. Really liked him. He's not the biggest in terms of stature, but he's very cool on the ball, really good IQ as a soccer player.
He's been a hallmark for Texas youth soccer as Rafa trying to organize a response, but again, two pink shirts are marking him whenever he tries to go inside. And now Madison looks to go on the counter.
Ronan goal in the 14th minute of play
over to Gebhardt.
Martinez. The assist on that goal, number 16, Jacob Kroll.
Gebhardt now with pace against Lu Young, and Lu Young concedes the corner. This Madison team looking like it's had 10 good days of rest. They look fresh, they look fit.
Yeah, and I think we talked about the organisation, Brian. The first thing they've done is really nullify the front three of NCFC. Not too much happening. OLX we haven't really seen get into the game.
Nope.
Perez, Mensingen's huffing and puffing, but not getting any joy, and then that's allowing them then to break. And they look really good on the ball and in possession going forward.
Martinez with the corner kick. It's time to get some good air underneath it. Punched out by Holiday. Cheney trying to fall on it. Here's Payne with a chance. And that could have gone anywhere if it deflected off the defender. Some quality looks from forward Madison. They are looking to add on to their lead. A little bit of a shock here at WakeMed Soccer Park. The only other time that NCFC was trailing in a game was the season debut against Tormenta.
That's not a good omen, Brian, as that one finished 1-0.
1-0, the only loss. Every other time, whether it was the 5 wins they've had this year or the draw against Charlotte, they were ahead. So this is now going to be a key test for John Bradford's side if they want to get back into this game, as Abdou Njai was looking to play an advantage, but pulls it back after Rafa's shirt was tugged. Free kick to North Carolina.
I'm surprised that's not a yellow card, you know? Deliberate tug of the shirt, Rafa in full flow, right under the referee's nose. Referee chooses to be a bit lenient with that one. It's the first time we've really seen Rafa get the better of him there.
Yeah, now they're going to hold up as they let the center backs, Fernandez and Navarro, step forward to deal with this free kick. Looks like it is going to be Rafa Mensingen with the delivery. Trying to get it just in front of the penalty spot. Good header by Cheney. And Bartman comes away with it. And Shipman gets it clear. Wheeler Romano wins the header. NCFC is back under control. As Cheney is pulled up and is down on the ground at midfield. Try to see if we can get a replay of what happened, especially as he's trying to stretch out on that header. So it gets the Madison bench active. Some of the attackers
Fans, as a
warming
reminder,
up.
on Mother's Day, the Courage are hosting
We have
Reed.
Mauro Cicero and
Game tickets are still available. You can
Francis
call
Janot Baptiste
at 919-459-8144.
trying to get some quick stretching in if
tomorrow at 3 p.m.
they do need to make a
NCFC
change.
returning on Wednesday, the 17th.
We ask you to not miss an action, a minute of the action in 2023, whether your club is on the road or at home. You can catch nearly every second of USL League One action on ESPN+. The home to the USL, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com.
Looks like Christian Cheney's going to be okay. It looked like it was something to do with his eye. But he's good to go, much to the relief of the forward Madison team. Their leading talisman up top and a guy they put a lot of hope behind to fire them up the table.
Cheney, one of the key signings for this Madison side, as well as we mentioned in the back, Jacob Kroll and Tim Mell in defense. Also, Mauro Cicero, who's one of the reserves, playing last year with the Charleston Battery. As Maldonado gives it to Navarro. Navarro switching the point of attack to Rafa. One-on-one with Payne. And Onan also tracking back from his attacking position. Here's a good cross, and Gebhard meets it before Perez has a header from 6 yards out. Kroll gets it clear. And a handball is going to be called. Free kick to NCFC. Flores Blanco with a great cross there.
Yeah, it was great work from Onan getting back there to double up on Mensingen. But the ball fell kindly to Flores, and he whipped that ball in just behind that back four. And he thought for a second Perez was going to get there, but I think it was Kroll getting in on the backside there to snuff out the danger.
Yeah, and also it's been pretty smart to see how this Madison team is kind of defending NCFC's playmakers. Here's Perez coming from a deeper position, trying to generate offense. Flag is up, offside on Lou Young, just a fraction off.
Yeah, just looking at that ball played a little bit earlier. Perez holding on to it, a couple of too many touches. I was thinking that injury to Cheney, though, gave John Bradford, coach of the month, the opportunity to have a chat with his players and try and get them to settle down and get some of the things they've been working on out onto the field today, because they've struggled to really break down this forward Madison side, despite the shot from distance from Perez and a couple of half sniffs here or there. But it's really been forward Madison really through the first 22 minutes here.
John Bradford in his third season as the head coach of NCFC just got his 20th career victory with that 2-0 win at Central Valley Fuego as the flag has stopped play. Anderson was in an offside position. So we pull it back. Coach Bradford has been with the club since 2013 as head of the NCFC Youth Academy. Also the technical director of the USL 2 for the NCFC U23s, which USL 2 has just started in certain areas of the country. It starts here in the Carolinas this weekend. As young players, academy level players, some college soccer players try to get that small bit of exposure in terms of what it takes to be a professional footballer, both on the men's side and on the women's side. The NC Courage U23 season starts soon. As with the crowd here at WakeMed Soccer Park, we expect an even bigger crowd when the Courage take on OL Reign tomorrow afternoon on Mother's Day. Especially after what they had last week when the Thorns came. Attendance of over 7,000 people here at WakeMed Soccer Park. One of the biggest games in the club's history.
Yeah, they were treated to a 6-goal thriller, 3-3. What better way to spend Mother's Day than come out here to beautiful WakeMed Soccer Park?
Possibly get a chance to see Megan Rapinoe in action as Martinez's cross falls to Gebhard. The flag does come up offsides. Kroll will sprint back to his defensive position. Quick restart by Nick Holiday, who could not catch up to the howitzer from Isidro Martinez. His goal in the 14th minute is what separates these two sides. Flores Blanco back to Fernandez. What a takeaway by Martinez. And he tried to find Cheney on the counter. But that pass had too much pace. Maldonado was looking at his teammates saying, I needed help.
Great defensive work from forward Madison, taking away the passing lanes and putting Maldonado under pressure.
Now Cervania has come into a wide position up against Kroll. Playing his first few touches. As we said, we've hardly mentioned his name. Now Perez with a good cross, trying to find Rafa. Couldn't redirect it back to the frame of goal, and it's going to be a goal kick. The USL on ESPN continues as the summer heats up. Memphis 901 FC and Aaron Malloy head to the Valley of the Sun to face Manuel Arteaga and Phoenix Rising FC. It's Phoenix Rising FC and Memphis 901 FC Saturday, July 1st at 11 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Gebhard finds Wheeler Amanu. Now out wide to Payne. Payne with a good cross as Cheney chests it down. And a block by Navarro. It falls to Onan. And Arriaga takes it away from the Englishman. Gives it back to Payne. Cross into the box. Looks like NCFC is fighting just to try to win a second ball here. It's been giveaways galore. Now Anderson is offside just by a hair. He was hugging the halfway line up against Osmond, and that outlet pass just a fraction, needed to be a fraction sooner.
Yeah, that was tight. I could see Osmond, he was thinking, do I hold, do I drop? Here he looks way off, but I think when it was first play, it was a lot tighter. You could just see, though, in the run of play here, Brian, the intensity and the sharpness of Forward Madison just looks like it's there. At the moment, North Carolina just look a few gears short of where they need to be. And it's the attacking players of Forward Madison that we're talking about and looking at. Just haven't seen it from North Carolina yet.
And it's impressive to see how this Madison side are able to switch formations from when they do have the ball to when they don't have the ball. Here comes Rafa over to Anderson. Cross into the box was deflected and dealt with by Mel.
But the more we keep talking about North Carolina not quite clicking, we know all it takes is a moment. Whether it's an OLX moment, a Rafa moment, a Perez moment, one moment here for this team. Because in transition, they're so bright, they're so dangerous. Forward Madison has to remain concentrated and switched on and maintain the work that they've been putting in so far through this opening 30 minutes or so.
There's Nazim Bartman, the South African. Over to Martinez. Good takeaway by Fernandez. Rafa goes down, no whistle. Play on, says referee Abdu Njai. Bradford urging his side to get back as Stephen Payne has pace. Up against Flores Blanco as he tried to measure across. Turns and gives it back to Onan. Now Kroll. Osmond to Martinez.
It's a hot, sticky day here in Cary, North Carolina. Energy-sapping conditions, I would say. We haven't really had a day like this during the season.
About a month ago, I remember when Dean, our great friend, Dean Linke, was calling the NCFC versus Charlotte Independence game. That was a torrid, wet, cold night. Temperatures were in the 40s in early April.
Yeah, this is going to be, I can see a lot of subs coming in the second half, just the intensity at which people are defending and working.
The humidity's slowly been coming back over the last few days. Temperatures in the low 80s right now. The sun is almost set here in Cary. And so far, 30 minutes in, North Carolina's really only had one shot. And it's not on target. Even though it hit the post, it's technically a shot that's not on target. It's the closest that the boys in blue have had a sniff of at the Madison goal. Rafa. Fernandez under pressure from Cheney, has to give it back to Holiday. Bradford urging some momentum. Here's a run from Maldonado. He's onside. Low ball towards Cervania. It falls to Perez. time he got too much underneath it. But that's better from North Carolina.
And it was a run from Maldonado from deep. I was just getting ready to say there's not much on. They're getting frustrated with each other. But Maldonado just taking matters into his own hands, running beyond the back line, pulls it back for Sylvania. It slips under his foot. And the left foot you wanted it to fall to was Perez, but he's a long way out and doesn't get the contact that he got earlier.
Now avoids the challenge from Anderson. Cheney chests it towards Onan. Payne back to Osmond, the Australian captain. Krull continuing his run, finding Bartman in space. One-on-one with Navarro. Look at the Young. Now Rafa. This time Anderson is outside. He's one-on-one with Osmond. Alex Anderson! Oh my goodness! An incredible save by Bernd Shipman. North Carolina that close from tying it. And it's the German keeper who keeps it 1-0.
And it's a great ball from Menzingen. It's over Timmy Mel. Olex is through, he composes himself, left foot, he's looking to go to that top corner, and Shipman stays big for as long as he can and pulls it over the bar. Osmond just getting a hand to Olex to knock him off balance, and they're off the hook. Just like that, it could have been 1-1, we've talked about it. But Shipman comes up big, huge save.
That is definitely a save of the week contender.
Hand him the award, Brian.
Yeah, we definitely have a goal of the week nominee and a save of the week nominee. As advantages played. Onan. Gebhardt trying to hold his line. Wu Young sprints back, and now the flag does come up. Head coach John Bradford speaking to the assistant referee of asking why the flag wasn't pulled up earlier.
The back line for Madison just getting stretched a little bit at the moment.
Anderson looking to go against Mel, and I think that was the right call. It's a corner kick. Looked like Anderson was looking for that foul.
It looked like a goal kick to me. Maybe not. He'll take the corner.
We'll see if North Carolina can test this Madison defense, as the center backs as well as Cheney are all in the box. Bit of zonal marking. As Rafa gets it out to Flores Blanco, trying to look for a better angle. Wu Young. And unfortunately, that set play goes to naught.
Yeah, not the matchup I'm sure they were looking for. Menzingen there on Mel. Not going to win that one in the air.
Bernd Shipman, the Madison goalkeeper, originally born in Germany, but he has a German father and a Philippine mother. And during the last World Cup qualifiers in the Asian Federation, he made a couple of caps for the Philippines. As Flores Blanco keeps the ball in play. He's looking towards Olex Anderson, and there's Mel staying in front of him. Wheeler Amanu to Cheney. Sees Gebhardt open out wide. Now Madison look to attack and extend their 1-0 lead. It's going to be a corner kick. Wu Young's really done well against Gebhardt, matching him up on those crosses.
Yeah, it's tough as well. There's a lot of space out on that left-hand side. So a lot of it starts on the right and then it shifts out there. But it's a corner. Tough situation for North Carolina to defend. They cannot give another one up here.
Yeah, you mentioned how this Madison team is a lot of new players. Derek Gebhardt, one of the veterans. He has played the last 2 seasons with forward Madison. As Martinez's corner kick goes to the back post. And Cheney just misses. Hits the side netting. And kicks the ad boards in disgust. Cheney has had a couple of looks. You can see that when he gets a sniff of goal, he has dangerous intentions. Perez wanted to switch the field, thought differently. Now trying to put it in a spot for Anderson to chase. Shipman almost misplayed it. He keeps his cool. 28-year-old from Germany. Now, Payne. It's Bartman on a run, decides to keep it, go inside. Now looking towards Onan, who chests it away from the VAR. Holiday got a hand. Great goalkeeping from Nick Holiday, the 17-year-old. Alert to what was in front of him as the Madison coaching staff were looking for a penalty.
It's definitely a tight situation, but I think Holiday got enough of the ball there. Navarro just leaned in and Holiday came up big. He's a split second later than that. I think we are pointing to the spot, but I think the referee got that one right.
Flores Blanco to Cervania. Jaden Cervania.
Not said that name too often, have we, Brian? Picking it up in a better area there, facing forward on his better left foot.
Here we get a look at that last challenge from Nick Holiday. So he got his hands to the ball as he pushed it away.
Yeah, and I don't think Navarro does an awful lot there, so it's the right call, I think. The great play from forward Madison. I think it was Payne that floated the ball in there, and then great touch from Onan. He wouldn't have wanted to do anything differently. But Holiday well placed and aggressive to deal with that situation.
Nick Holiday has done really well in his first season as NCFC's #1. I think another thing that right now Coach Bradford's got to be a little bit worried about is his side losing a portion of these aerial duels in certain positions. So far this year, forward Madison's won nearly 60% of aerial duels. And players like Cheney and Onan and Bartman offensively, as well as those 3 center backs defensively. Osman to Mel. Now the goal scorer, Isidro Martinez, saw Onan on a run, and the flag comes up. Just a hair off sides.
Madison's really good at playing in and around the press, very comfortable and cool. Timmy Mel's played out some tight spaces at times, and North Carolina just cannot get compact enough to get the bodies and get tight enough to win the ball back. And as you look at it the other way, forward Madison much more compact, aggressive in their pressing, and getting much more joy. So that's something that half-time Coach Bradford's going to have to address if they're going to get the result they want today. Madison winning the ball back again, but then gifting it back to North Carolina.
Hernandez splitting the lines to Cervania. Gets away from Martinez. Now Maldonado. Out wide to Lou Young. Maldonado holding things up. Looking up with the center backs, and now comes to the near side with Flores Blanco. Payne with a push in the back of Rafa. Free kick. Every time Rafa Mensigan has touched the ball, he's had one defender right up on him, and when he decides to make a move, who's there but number 10, Jaden Oden, trying to stop his dribble.
Yeah. You don't want Rafa in full flow 1v1 with space. They've done a really good job of limiting that happening, and Oden, to your point, has done brilliantly both sides, both in attack and then getting back to double up defensively.
Looking over this free kick, is looking to try to put it right around the penalty spot. You see Shipman standing at the 6-yard line. Ball comes in towards the far post. Flag immediately comes up for offsides. I believe that time on Fernandez.
That's where sometimes that little fake before you whip it in almost messes up your own attacking players in terms of the rhythm of their run. And an opportunity goes begging for North Carolina.
42nd minute here at Wake Med Soccer Park. North Carolina 0, Forward Madison 1. Late whistle from referee Abdou Njai. As there's a bit of a tussle between Cheney and Maldonado. Quick restart. Here comes Flores Blanco towards Alex Anderson, and that time it wasn't really a push, but Anderson used his positioning to try to win that free kick.
I don't think Mel did an awful lot wrong there. Just nibbled in front of Anderson. We've seen him do a really good job with his back to goal, holding off players, low centre of gravity, but there, I thought Mel had actually got there cleanly, but the referee said otherwise. Another Rafa set piece.
This time, this one has Venom and a great save, but the flag goes up. Just a hair off sides. I believe it was on Fernandez who had that header. Burns Shipman coming up with another good stop here.
It's a great ball from Menzingen, lots of shape and whip. And it's Fernandez almost facing the wrong way, just craning his neck. But it wouldn't have mattered.
Cheney wins the header against Maldonado. Ball comes back to Kroll. Probably looking at a couple minutes of stoppage time here in this first half. Get a look at the standings and scores and items, news items to look at. Quick sliding challenge by Mel. Onan, Bartman. Payne continuing his run, keeps it in play. Measured cross towards Cheney. And Perez trying to shake off Kroll. And it's Isidro Martinez who keeps it alive for the Flamingos.
Yeah, great battle between Perez and Kroll there. Kroll just doing enough to get back and stop Perez in full flight. Just a really impressive first 45 or so here from Forward Madison. You can see why they're unbeaten, look really competitive. Good on the ball, control possession a lot of the time. They've only got the one goal to show for it. I think that'd be the disappointment right now for as much control and possession they've had.
Payne winning the duel against Flores Blanco. His cross is met by Navarro. Good switch of attack as Perez pressing forward for North Carolina. Now looking for options in the box and has to give it back to Arriaga. Cervania.
And you can see, Brian, they've done their homework for Madison. They're taking out those lanes, stopping Perez coming in on that left foot.
Not the best clearance, but Perez didn't find the angle. Passes it back to Arriaga.
Everyone back behind the ball doing a shift.
Blanco up against Onan. Now Fernandez. We have 3 minutes of added time here in this first half.
3 minutes.
Cervania almost linking up with Perez with that one-touch pass. And Osman will clear it.
I think the additional extra time helps Forward Madison. They won't want this half to end. It's gone as well as could be expected.
Matt Glazer really has to be really impressed with what his side has done.
At times, Brian, it's almost felt like there's an extra pink shirt out there on the field.
Especially in the middle of the park. Isidro Martinez marking up anything that comes through the center. Here's a chance from Anderson. He was looking for a deflection, and he's going to get... No, not
goal kick.
Goal kick. From our position, you're kind of seeing where is the referee pointing to.
Yeah. I think that sums it up, doesn't it? Some of the best efforts, looks at goal have come from outside the box, 20 yards or more. That's a credit to forward Madison and the defensive work they've put in. As we talked about in the build-up, just 2 goals conceded all season, and it's set up nicely in the second half here to see if North Carolina could make that 3 or more. It's organization that's won out in this first half, not expression.
And now Madison will slow things down just to get to the halftime whistle, not allow North Carolina a key dangerous attack. And we do have a yellow card. Yellow card's given to, I believe it's Onan for time wasting. Obviously he had a couple of talks with the ref during the first half, and referee Abdu Njai immediately pulled out the yellow card.
It's a silly yellow card as well. Like I said, don't want this half to end. It's gone brilliantly. Go get yourself another goal.
See John Bradford at the bottom of your screen
Forward Madison yellow
pushing
and added time to number
inside,
10,
getting
Jaden
one final
Coleman.
attack in here in the final minute of stoppage time. We see good marking from this Madison defense against North Carolina's 3 attackers. And now Bartman gets away from Perez. And gets a free kick as well. Kind of a silly challenge from the Frenchman Perez. Obviously the Madison players were looking for a yellow card there. In terms of the physicality, referee Abdu Njai kind of letting things play out.
Yeah, he's let a lot go, hasn't he?
A little bit of a step on the cleat there. But that was also kind of a tired foul from Perez as he was tracking back after losing the ball. Only the last kick of the first half.
You've got to look at Osmond and Kroll and Cheney around this backside against Menzingen, Cervania and Maldonado. Looking at Osmond here.
Martinez's cross punched away by Holiday. Payne with a second effort, dealt with by Maldonado. And that is halftime, and what a half it has been for forward Madison. Isidro Martinez getting his first goal of the campaign with a wonder goal that surprised Nicholas Holiday. NCFC has been lackluster in attack, and they are looking for answers. Halftime here at Wake Med Soccer Park, North Carolina 0, forward Madison 1, here on ESPN+.
I want to be like the pretty people on my TV.
Now you can.
All I need are gleaming white teeth.
We can help you.
Can you find the right dentist for me?
Riccobene Associates, they do cosmetic dental.
Will they hurt me?
No, they're gentle.
I'm terrified of pain.
They're the kindest in the land.
They sound great. Could you repeat their name?
Riccobene Associates Family Dentistry. Brushandfloss.com.
So, how do you like your urgent care? At Wake Med, we have urgent care just about everywhere. Urgent care that specializes in orthopedics and kids. My Care 365, open every day of the year. Even virtual urgent care. Yup, urgent care in your jammies on your tablet. So download the Wake Med All Access app and get urgent care that's caring, convenient, and just the way you like it.
great crowd here at Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary, North Carolina. They wanted to see some goals from the boys in blue, but it's the boys in pink that have the lead after 45 minutes. North Carolina FC 0, Forward Madison FC 1. Thanks for joining us here on ESPN Plus. I'm Brian Ware along with Andrew Tate. Andrew, quick thought of the first half. Madison has done really well, and actually let's go to the schedules as North Carolina FC has a couple of home games coming up, and then they take a big road trip as a lot of events are taking place here in Cary. Some key ones, I think, are Richmond, who's a team that's trying to look for their identity, as well as Charlotte, a team that's really done well. They're second in the table.
Yeah, you look at those fixtures this month of May and going into June, like we've had an unbelievable April here for North Carolina FC, and this next set of fixtures here, 5 games, they've got to try and follow up what they're doing now to maintain that momentum at the top of the table.
Yeah, North Carolina's done really well on the road so far at the start of the year. Meanwhile, for Forward Madison, they get a chance to have a couple of home games as well. Their next home game is against Northern Colorado. And then we mentioned the derby that they have against Union Omaha. That's coming up on Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, some tasty fixtures. Northern Colorado, another team that's not played a lot of games this season, so the table still got a lot of shaping out to do. So it'll be interesting to see those two teams kind of where they are after that. We'll have to play in a few more games to catch up to some of the others.
Yeah, Forward Madison, as we said, unbeaten to start the year. They're looking to keep that going and possibly make the playoffs for the first time since 2019. We will take a quick break, and afterwards we'll give you a look at some of the standings and some of the scores that are taking place in USL League One action. So stay tuned here on ESPN Plus.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way. Sometimes you feel alone. Like your world is collapsing. Like there's no hope. But you're not alone. Someone is there to listen, to talk, to help you up. The United Soccer League is proud to support the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline because everyone needs support.
North Carolina FC 0, Forward Madison 1. Halftime here at Wake Med Soccer Park as North Carolina FC is currently in first place in the USL League One standings. And as we take a look at the standings, they're sitting comfortably at 16 points that there's a lot of movement in the last few weeks, specifically Greenville. They started near the bottom, and now they've won 3 of their last 4 games, and they are looking like the Greenville Triumph that we've known.
Yeah, and I think they're playing Richmond Kickers today, and I think they're doing all right as well this evening. So they could be right back in there. Everyone was writing them off after the first 2 years, but you can never write off Greenville Triumph. But yeah, there's a lot still to take shape. As I talked about, Northern Colorado only played 4 games, and Forward Madison only played 5 and unbeaten. So there's a lot that's going to twist and churn over the next few weeks here.
Yeah, the next 30 games this year, the top 6 make it to the USL League One playoffs. You mentioned the scores. Greenville is actually taking on the Richmond Kickers, and they have a 2-0 lead. Lucas Coutinho is having a career year. He scored early in the 3rd minute against Richmond, and he's been a wonder kid for Greenville. Meanwhile, Knoxville and Northern Colorado and Lexington holding Charlotte goalless. Sam Stockley doing a good job. Hopefully his team doesn't continue to drop points. They've dropped 6 points from winning positions so far this year. I think Lexington Sporting Club is going to get it together in the middle of this year. Let's move on to the USL news and notes. As we mentioned how good the Triumph was, they ended Charlotte's unbeaten streak with that 3-1 win. McKinnon and Castro were excellent, and Charlotte had their best start to the year, 7 games unbeaten. That was a great win for the Triumph. Meanwhile, Tormenta beating Chattanooga in the rematch of the championship game. Ryan Sirakovsky scoring a gorgeous 25-yard goal. It was a nominee for Goal of the Week. It lost out to Luis Perez's laser of a free kick. And meanwhile, there's 2 USL championship teams still left in the Open Cup. The Riverhounds upsetting the #1 team in the MLS right now, the New England Revolution 1-0. Birmingham taking down fellow USL Championship side Memphis 901. If you want to know who those 2 sides are playing next, well, Birmingham is taking on Charlotte FC, the MLS side. Meanwhile, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds will host the Columbus Crew. Very interesting round of 16 fixtures in the Open Cup, highlighted, of course, by El Trafico. LAFC against the LA Galaxy. You can't go wrong with that.
No, always a tasty fixture, never a dull moment. Look forward to that one.
Yeah, hopefully we can have a USL Championship side make another deep run in the Open Cup. We will step aside. Oh, and before we step aside, we move to the Team of the Week. The Player of the Week is who we said, Liam McKinnon, his goal and assist. The Swissman getting the Player of the Week, represented by Konami eFootball. You also see Rafa Mensingen as well on the Team of the Week. Rafa has been on the Team of the Week, I believe, 4 times this year. That's how great of a season he has. But also the 2 defenders, Jake Kroll and Tim Mell, did well in their game against Knoxville. So now we will step aside. And afterwards, on the other side of the break, we'll give you highlights of this game. A great goal by Madison is the difference here on ESPN+.
I want to be like the pretty people on my TV.
Now you can.
All I need are gleaming white teeth.
We can help you.
Can you find the right dentist for me?
Riccobene Associates, they do cosmetic dental.
Will they hurt me?
No, they're gentle.
I'm terrified of pain.
They're the kindest in the land.
They sound great. Could you repeat their name?
Riccobene Associates Family Dentistry. Brushandfloss.com.
So, how do you like your urgent care? At Wake Med, we have urgent care just about everywhere. Urgent care that specializes in orthopedics and kids. My Care 365, open every day of the year. Even virtual urgent care. Yup, urgent care in your jammies, on your tablet. So download the Wake Med All Access app and get urgent care that's caring, convenient, and just the way you like it.
Brian Ware and Andrew Tate here with you in Cary, North Carolina, as we get set for the second half between North Carolina FC and Forward Madison. Andrew, let's get to the highlights. And it was a bright and quick and fast start. Both teams were looking for goals in the opening minutes.
Yeah, and this was inside the opening minute. You see Holiday came with a big save, and then when he falls to Cheney, you're expecting the net to bulge, but just gets underneath it. And that was a sign of things to come. Here was the next play of the game within the second minute. Perez striking the ball as clean as you like with that left foot, and it cannons back off the post. Both goalkeepers relieved to see the ball not nestle in the back of the net.
And this was the goal from Isidro Martinez. What a strike.
Yeah, absolutely pure hit. Straight down the middle of the goal, loops over Holiday, was completely helpless. I'm sure, can't see it from that angle, but I'm sure it's knuckling and moving in the air. Holiday comes out to make a save here.
And this almost made it 2-0 as Payne got some sharp kick on that one.
Yeah, some anguish on the faces of North Carolina defenders there.
And this was the chance for Oleg Sanderson to tie it up at 1.
Yeah, he wasn't involved a lot, but this was his chance. And Shipman was equal to it. It was a great ball from Rafa. Breaking through that back line was always...
As Madison was looking to make it 2-0.
And you can see there, he gets both hands on the ball and parries it away. I think there were some discussions between the Madison coaching staff and the referee just before, just at the break. I think they were looking for that call on that decision right there, but they didn't get it.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, last game for Forward Madison, they only had 6 shots in over 90 minutes. Tonight, 8 in the first 45.
Yeah, they've had the advantage in corners, possession, been a really controlled first half, but I'm sure Coach of the Month, John Bradford's been after his players in that halftime locker room, because it's not been the North Carolina we've come accustomed to seeing this season. He'll be looking for some more energy, some more spark from them. So it'll be interesting to see if Forward Madison can come out with that same energy in the second half.
Looks like neither team has made a change to start the second half as Forward Madison gets us going here at WakeMed Soccer Park. Glad that you could join us here on ESPN+. Brian Ware alongside Andrew Tate. And Stephen Payne in the first 20 seconds looking to earn his team a corner. No, it deflected off of him last. And Stephen Payne, the right back, right wing back, he's really been getting involved in the offense for this Madison side.
Yeah, it's a very fluid back line, isn't it? Is it a back 3? Is it a back 4? Payne has to do a lot of work down there. Gebhard will help Krull out, but Krull will operate as more of a left back. But Payne, definitely more of a right wing back.
Yeah, the 25-year-old out of Birmingham, Alabama. He played last year with the Richmond Kickers. Previously, he spent several years playing professionally in Portugal before coming back stateside. Anderson trying to read the clearance from Shipman as Navarro collides into Bartman, and it's going to be a free kick at midfield. Daniel Navarro, the captain for NCFC, with the physical challenge, and a yellow card has been shown to the NCFC captain.
It's his fourth of the season, Brian. I've been taking a look at the stats in North Carolina. Definitely, last year, one of the things I said about them, my criticisms was they were a bit too nice. They were down there in fouls, but you can see here, Navarro's only got eyes for the ball, but he leans in and comes through the back of Bartman.
Yeah, it looked like elbow extended into the back. I initially thought referee Abdou Njai was going to give him a talking to, in terms of telling him to calm it down, but now he's pulling out a card. So that's another message to the players in terms of knowing that the intensity might pick up in terms of these challenges. He's going to call it in due course. Here's Gebhard. Back to Wheeler Amanu. Now Bartman slides it to Martinez. Almost gave it away with that heavy touch, but keeps it alive. The Texan who grew up near the border. Flag is up on Cheney for offsides.
You can just see how comfortable forward Madison are in those tight spaces when being pressed by North Carolina. Martinez there, like you said, maybe had a little bit of a heavy touch, but he still got it under control. And then Mel wriggling away from Mensingen, done really well in those moments.
Wu Young able to keep it alive, finding Maldonado. North Carolina FC's attack continuing. Perez switches it to Blanco. Slides it to Rafa. Rafa's cross, a face of goal. Anderson was the only person in the box. That's the kind of touch that John Bradford's looking for Rafa to make. He gets into those spaces.
There's a lot of movement down on the North Carolina bench. I think Coach Bradford's seen enough and wants to make some changes. Talked about the temperature. It's hot, it's sticky. There was a chance of thunderstorms early. It hasn't happened.
Cheney has gone down with his tussle. I believe it was with Rafa. And you see Rafa jogging back, apologizing for the challenge. Rafa Mensingen, named the USL Player of the Month from April, and as you see, just a little clattering of the legs as both players were fighting for the loose ball. Rafa Mensingen was not the only NCFC player that was nominated for Player of the Month in April. You also had Olex Anderson with his 2 goals and 2 assists that he had in April. The other nominees included Jackson Corey of Tormenta, who had 3 goals in his first year for Tormenta, as well as Noe Meza, big name for Union Omaha. Probably scored, has the early candidate for goal of the season with his bicycle kick. Anderson getting onto the ball after the long pass. Cuts it back. Maldonado switching it to Blanco. Arriaga with a chance, and it's just over the bar.
And that gets a clap from Coach John Bradford. Already seen more from Arriaga in this opening 5 minutes than we saw in the first half. A player they really need to get involved, get the ball, get the game ticking. It's a good touch from Flores, picks out Arriaga, who straight away sets the ball up. And he's looking to try and follow in the footsteps of Isidro Martinez, but not able to get the dip under the crossbar.
Cheney falls onto it. Bartman, flag is up for offside. And you see what Madison is capable of. It looked like Blanco misjudged that long pass, and it allowed Onan to head it to Cheney, and all of a sudden they were off.
Yeah, and that's the danger as North Carolina goes in search of an equalizer. You got the pace of Onan and the craft of Bartman, and just a continued nuisance of Cheney. There's a lot of jerseys being put on by the North Carolina bench. Talked about messages being sent, Brian. When you're on the field and you see 5 players getting the jerseys on, you have to worry when you're losing 1-0 if it's going to be your name that's going to be called. So
well, now being forced back, that's what Cheney was referring to. He knew he was okay with the foul. I think it was handball. When you look at those subs, those options that John Bradford has, you got obviously fullback DJ Benton, Shaq Adams, Garrett McLaughlin, and Preston Pop is some good options, as well as David Garcia and Raheem Summersall in terms of defense if they need it. Right now, what NCFC needs is offense. Navarro tracking it down over to Perez. Marked by Kroll, negs him. Advantage played, Cervania in space. Gets it out wide to Rafa. And unfortunately, he could not curl it from that angle.
I think for me there, Brian Cervania's got to hit that. I just don't think that ball set up for Mensingen to hit. It's bobbling all the way out there, but it's great bit of skill here from Perez. The fans loved it. A little back heel through the legs of Krull. It's a great flick into Cervenia, but here on his favoured left foot, just doesn't really get out of his feet. He's just bouncing out to Mensing, and that's a tough one to control.
Osman's long ball. Wu Young does well against Cheney. Second ball controlled by Martinez. Now Wheeler Romanu. Ball's turning into trouble. Heavy touch gives it back to North Carolina. He's looking for Cervenia to make a run. Now he does. And Osman steps in front of it to take it away. Now Madison looking to break. Here's Stephen Payne, the wingback. Finds Cheney onside against Navarro. Christian Cheney trying to slide it to Onan. It took a deflection off Fernandez. Payne keeps it alive for Madison. Wheeler Romanu out wide to Onan. Onan's cross, and it's too deep.
It was a good look for forward Madison. Cheney had the chance, and his touch let him down. Allowed Navarro to get across, and he knew that he wanted to get it back on his right foot. And Navarro just slowed him down, and combination of him and Fernandez snuffed out the danger. Not quite the fireworks of the first half so far, Brian.
Might see it here. If Rafa gets a touch, he does. Osman wins the header. Rafa keeps it alive. Kept his eyes on the ball and finds Perez. Wu Young continuing a run on the outside. Perez goes in and almost curled it into the top shelf.
And there was an almost firework right there. Perez looks a lot brighter in the second half. I'd say him and Flores Blanco on the opposite side. Certainly looking a bit sharper. He's got the party pieces to go with it. You can see he fakes to the outside, shifts back on that favoured left foot. He gets the bend, just not quite the dip to pull it under the bar. The goal of the week winner from last week. Getting closer and closer.
Good composure from Madison as you see NCFC trying to work the high press. Gebhardt gets it out wide to Payne. He has acres of space. Has Cheney and Onan as options. He decides to go alone, took a deflection. And Cheney, I think, will just let it go out of bounds for a corner kick.
Yeah, I was looking at Navarro on that backside. He had two players, Onan and Cheney, to deal with. Look at the deflection, didn't fall that way.
So it'll be another corner kick for forward Madison. Isidro Martinez has delivered a couple of good balls from set plays. This time he's going towards the back post, and Navarro shields off Cheney well.
There's that commentator's curse, Brian, right? As soon as you say he's hit some good balls, he balloons it out the back.
Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL League One and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Hernandez looking for movement. This time it's the fullback, Flores Blanco. Marked by Onan. Comes inside. Anderson at the edge of the box, looking for space. A late sliding tackle by Maldonado misses it. And Payne keeping it himself as Cheney was in an offside position. Now he's onside, in space. Christian Cheney just misses it. And I believe it was Holiday, and they got a touch to it. Oh my goodness. A counterattack that could have made it 2-0, but Nick Holiday coming through.
That's great play from Payne because Cheney was a good 5 yards offside. He continues his run, whips in a great ball. Cheney pulls it under his spell, fires in a goal. And Holiday, I don't even know how he got a hand to the ball. It looked like it was past him and somehow managed to deflect it over the bar. Big time save from the 17-year-old.
As we said, Christian Cheney last year scored 3 of his 10 goals against NCFC. He has been nipping at NCFC defenders to try to get his goal. This time it's cleared out by Fernandez. Gebhard, good ball, and a great defensive header by Fernandez. It's kept alive, though, by Onan, and a great challenge by Flores Blanco. And he gets a throw.
He's showing a lot of fight and spirit this second half, Flores Blanco. There he shows on the defensive end, but he's been doing everything he can to get it going on the offensive side as well. It just hasn't quite clicked yet. That's a great ball.
Good long ball. Good control by Anderson, who's matched up against Mel. Anderson is looking for an option just at the spot. But nobody was there. Cervania was crashing towards goal.
Tell you what, Brian.
I see a lot more of attacking intent from North Carolina FC. I think that's what John Bradford has been looking for.
What a spectacle this game has been, though.
Perez trying to continue his run as Cervania laid it off. Osmo's looking for a push. No foul called. Cervania took a tumble, crossed by Perez, dealt with by Mel. And cleared by Martinez as Fernandez matches up against Cheney. Arriaga loses it to Martinez. Isidro Martinez, the 2-7's going at it. And it's a challenge and a foul, and I believe a card against Luis Arriaga. Bit of a scissor challenge, and now a little bit of pushing and talking between the two sides. As Luis Arriaga is called for the foul, referee Abdu Njai calling for order. Big tense situation as NCFC is looking for that equalizer. And it's going to be North Carolina's number 7 who's going to go into the books. And coming from behind, that kind of scissor challenge, dangerous foul.
NCFC yellow in the 60th minute of play, number 7, Luis Arriaga.
And he is the second North Carolina player in the books.
I don't think you can have any complaints about that. It's his chest control that was just a little loose, and Martinez nipped in. Arriaga, to his credit, trying to track back and make the tackle, but he's never in a position to win the ball. Easy decision for the referee.
Looks like forward Madison is going to make the first substitution here in the 61st minute. Moro Sichero, number 14, is going to come in for Jaden Onan. Sichero, 27-year-old out of Caracas, Venezuela. Comes from a good family of footballers. His father and his 2 older brothers both played for the Venezuelan national team. His father in the 1980 Olympics says, Jaden Onan has to be careful. NCFC is asking for a little bit of catching up. Onan is on a yellow for time wasting. And at least some of the fans were pressuring for another yellow for kind of wasting time in terms of strolling to the sidelines. But Sichero is a good talent. Played last year for the Charleston Battery in the USL Championship. And now Madison will deal with this free kick after the yellow card challenge by Arriaga.
With Madison playing on Thursday, I think that change probably has one eye on that game against Northern Colorado. He's put a lot into that first half, Onan. Hasn't been able to quite match the intensity and the work that he put in the first half, but that's understandable considering how much he got through in that first 45.
All these USL League One teams had a good 8 to 10 days off because no USL League One side competed in the latest round, the round of 32 of the US Open Cup. You saw in the news and notes, 8 teams from the USL Championship competed and 2 progressed. The games are going to come quick and fast as we have 8 games scheduled for next week. As we saw on the schedule, North Carolina FC and John Bradford's side, they'll be back here in action on Wednesday against the Richmond Kickers. Last year's regular season champions trying to, in a bit of a struggle right now at the start of the year. They were losing 2-0 at halftime to the Greenville Triumph. And Emiliano Terzaghi has not really been scoring goals. I think he only has 1 on the year. You know, he's going to be looking for some quality looks. As Arriaga almost had a quality look, it's cleared off the line, the end line. Cervania trying to get a whistle and does. Cervania kind of spun into Wheeler Amanu. It's going to be a free kick.
Nowhere really to go. He's trying to make something happen here.
That's that industry that Cervania's kind of shown this year, that ability to get the ball in certain pockets, then use his leverage to win fouls. And it's put them in a great spot, because I believe it was from around this distance that Luis Perez fired a laser in Fresno.
Yeah, I can't see this.
And that 2-0 win. I think Perez is taking this.
All day long, Brian. I think it's a bit more central the other week, but we'll see.
Shipman watches. It's Perez, and it deflected off the wall. I believe it was Sachero that met it. It's going to be a corner kick. Perez will now dash over to the near corner here.
Everyone back for forward Madison.
Everybody in the box. As Perez weighed his options. Now he's going to go deliver it into the danger zone. It's headed away by Cheney. I believe they were looking for Anderson there. Flores Blanco with a second ball. It's going to be a goal kick. Seen activity on the North Carolina bench, but no changes yet. 20 minutes into the second half. NCFC had a good bit of impetus in terms of how they were able to create some offensive spark, but now you think they might need to make some changes in order to keep that going?
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? You know, forward Madison, the game's sort of played out in this middle to attacking half for North Carolina. We're not seeing the same pizzazz from forward Madison, so it's kind of going in their way, but at the same time, do you roll the dice and bring on a bunch of new players and hope that they go straight into the flow of the game, or do you sort of see this out and maybe make changes in midweek, so from the start? So it's a tough one, Brian. I think Coach Bradford's probably quietly happy with where it's going. Some of the players are showing a bit more spark, but there's definitely changes coming. He might just be holding them in his pocket a little longer than maybe we first thought.
Bad play by Krull, almost a giveaway. And a whistle and a free kick for Madison as Gebhardt kind of bails out his teammate Krull. A little bit of a lack of concentration there from the center back. Gebhardt now getting up and walking off the challenge. In terms of options that Madison has, in terms of substitutions defensively, they've got a couple of local products. Robert Screen, who is a local boy from Raleigh, who played for John Bradford in the NCFC Youth Academy, and former NCFC player Sam Brotherton.
I'm claiming him as a local product, all the way from New Zealand.
Yeah, but he did play a couple years for us, and he was a great defender.
I completely agree.
Bit of a homecoming welcome for those two guys. And those are some good defensive options, as well as Aiden Macias, central midfielder.
Yeah, we're talking about those making those changes, Brian. The longer you wait, the more you worry that the clock just ticks down, and forward Madison with a score, you know, could be an insurmountable challenge to get back from.
Yeah, they have a corner kick here, and as we said, you can count maybe on the number of times in your hand that Madison has kind of had attacks where they've built their attack. Usually in this second half, they've tried to operate and spark it.
Yeah, they've managed the game pretty well, I would say, limiting this.
Martinez's corner, Osmond! A brilliant header from the captain, and it's Isidro Martinez with that excellent delivery. And just like that, it is 2-0 to Madison.
We're just talking about getting that second goal, and there it is, the captain with a peach of a header, beating Nick Holiday at that near post. Got a lot of punch on it. Martinez with the whipped cross in there. Osmond gets up above Maldonado, gets great contact. I don't know there's much the goalkeeper can do about that. And Osmond runs off to celebrate with Martinez for putting it right on the top of his head. And that's a big-time goal.
First goal of the season for Mitch Osmond, the Australian captain. He's been an excellent defender. He played last year with Forward Madison, one of those signings that stayed. But Isidro Martinez, he has been a spark.
Goal and assist, and I think it sums up just the approach today with a goal coming from a defender.
And it's been his industry also in the middle of the park where he's done well to win some challenges. He's done well directing traffic. I think he's easily the man of the match so far. And now John Bradford has a lot of questions to think about in terms of getting that spark that he's looking for. Navarro, Lou Young, Cervania, Perez, slips it to Arriaga. Arriaga back to Maldonado.
Rafa was looking for it there as he was slashing across the top of the box.
Instead it falls to Flores Blanco. Osmond with the header. Perez tracks it down. Lou Young. Looks like 3 changes are coming in for NCFC. Summersall, Adams, and McLaughlin. As Perez, no penalty. As a player from Madison is down over on the far side. It looks like those changes for NCFC are going to happen now. It's Wheeler Amanu who is down on the ground. Changes now coming in. McLaughlin coming in for Oleg Sanderson. Shaq Adams coming in for Luis Perez, and Summersault's going to come into the middle. I think for most likely Arriaga, considering that he's on a yellow.
Yeah, I think that would be the logical choice. Just hasn't been able to get into the game in the way that we know Luis Arriaga can play, pulling the strings, knitting things together. Just hasn't quite clicked today for whatever reason.
There you get a look at Isidro Martinez, who's been excellent today, and there is that change. Summersall for Arriaga. So 3 changes made just after the 70th minute, as Wheeler Amanu is still receiving treatment. Looks like Aiden Macias, number 23, as well as Wolfgang Prentice, number 19. For Forward Madison is going to come in.
Number 7, Luis Arriaga. Coming in, number 44, Raheem Summersall. Also
they get a look at all the NCFC changes. They know it's go time, trailing 2-0.
And coming out, number 9.
After a peach of a header from the Australian captain, Mitch Osmond. As Isidro Martinez delivered a gorgeous ball As Wheeler Amanu is now coming up. And he is in a bit of pain. Tracking back to the bench. So the change is going to be made. Aiden Macias is going to come in for Andrew Wheeler Amanu in the center of that midfield. Meanwhile, Wolfgang Prentice, number 19, a new player for Forward Madison. He joined the side on loan from USL Championship side Oakland Roots. And it looks like Wheeler Amanu is getting some assistance from his teammates as he has put in a great shift in the middle of the park. And Prentice will come in for Nazim Bartman in attack.
Also coming out of the game, number 24, Nazim Bartman. Coming in, number 19, Wolfgang Prentice.
So we've had about a 4-minute stoppage here as we dealt with the Wheeler Amanu injury, but 5 changes made from both teams, and play is back underway as it's North Carolina 0, Madison 2. Can John Bradford's subs make a spark here in the final 20 minutes? Flag is up offside on Cheney. Navarro, Cervania chests it down. Good control from Cervania. Got ahead of Martinez and gets the free kick. A little bit of pushing from Madison defenders as they felt Cervania kind of over-exaggerated that challenge. And Mikey Maldonado getting into it with his former teammates. We've seen some contentious challenges. Now referee Abdu Njai marks the spot of the foul. Obviously, that was another thing that the Madison players were discussing about in terms of where the foul took place. As Gordon Shipman now organizes his wall. Looks like a 5-man wall. You're in a dangerous spot.
It's a big, tall wall.
We got some NCFC players as well, trying to obscure Shipman's vision. Maldonado obviously in an offside position, knowing he can't touch it and doesn't want to interfere with Shipman's vision too much. It's going to be Rafa, and it's into the wall. And cleared out by Osmond. 2 free kick chances for NCFC. 2 times they've struck it into the wall. Cervania. Wu Young back to Somersault. Navarro was trying to switch it to Blanco. It's Payne that clears it. Only as far as Cheney, and late whistle between the striker and the center back. At this stage of the game, if Madison can find Cheney in pockets of space and he can create some opportunities on the counter or get some fouls, that's great for Matt Glazer and Forward Madison. As he is causing the center backs from North Carolina FC some fits.
He's just about managing this last 13 minutes plus.
Fernandez looking towards Shaq Adams, dealt with by Krull. Somersault wins the ball against Prentice. Wolfgang Prentice, from Redondo Beach, California, putting some pressure. But NCFC working around as Lou Young was trying to find Shaq Adams, and he gets his side of throw. Cervania. Adams to Lou Young, back to Maldonado. Looking for that run from McLaughlin as Summersall slips it. They keep it alive, and Shipman takes command. So it's just a heavy pass. If you can't watch the match, turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more. All on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app. It's Cheney again causing problems. It was almost in an advantageous situation.
What a pass from Timmy Mel there. Ball coming across him there. McLaughlin charging at him, and he just pings it on a laser out to Prentice. Phenomenal technique.
North Carolina, as we said at the top of the broadcast, has won their last 4 matches and are top of the table. This Forward Madison side, we mentioned the theme of the game was going to be expression versus organization. And Matt Glazer has run this game plan to a T. And Isidro Martinez has executed it perfectly with his gorgeous goal in the first half. And then Madison capitalizing on a set piece in the second half.
They've certainly expressed themselves in possession as well. Some of their build-up play through the defenders into midfield. Maybe not had that cutting edge in attack. Because to your point, you know, it's taken a 25-yard bomb from Martinez and a great whipped-in corner and a brilliant header from the captain. But they've certainly looked full value for the 3 points today.
Yeah, and as we were talking before the game, this Madison side, their only win was a 4-1 win against the Greenville Triumph, when Greenville had a lot of injuries and we were wondering what was happening to the start of Greenville's season. We now know they're playing comfortable football right now. But as we said, they've had 3 0-0 draws. The other draw was a 1-1 draw. To think that, you know, they've been able to generate some quality offense and to come away with 3 points on the road and still stay unbeaten, you got to tip your hat to Matt Glazer and this Madison team.
Yeah, 17 new faces, just retaining 4 from last season's squad. That's a lot of work to put in. That's almost like a brand new franchise team, you know, like One Knox or Sporting Kentucky, you know, Sporting Lex. But yeah, full credits, and they look organised. They've done a lot of work, obviously, in the off-season and picked up some good players. And the encouraging thing for them is they can probably only get better.
Louis Young picks the ball away. Adams looking for options as he's trying to shake off Jacob Kroll, who was mentioned on the Team of the Week this past week with his way he played defensively. As we said, even though he kind of plays like a left back, center back, he's been very active. As Cervania had a golden chance there. I think that was one of the few times that Kroll's been beaten as Lou Young whipped that ball in.
It's a great little cutback from Lou Young. Not seen a lot of him getting to the byline. And Cervania just couldn't quite open his foot up, inside of his foot up enough to guide it into the near post. Good look at goal though. And just talking about Kroll there, Brian, I was looking at him pressing there in midfield, and then next minute I'm like, where is he? And he's back in his spot back there. It's almost like there was 2 of him for a second. Unbelievable amount of work rate and effort he's got through today.
Collision between Martinez and Cervania, free kick. It's going Madison's way as looks like John Bradford is going to give his final roll of the dice with Preston Popp and DJ Benton here in the 83rd minute. Yet to come in as Madison restarts things. Payne slipping it into space. The work of Martinez. Good cross in, and Prentice just missed it. Subs are now coming in for North Carolina. Popp is going to come in for Rafa Menzigen. Benton will come in for Cervania. Not the best game from Rafa tonight.
No, the same you could say for all of the front players. But as we've talked about, I think that's as much as a credit to what Ford Madison have done in the preparation in terms of nullifying those players and limiting the amount of times they get into the areas they want to get into. They've sort of shut off the supply and then prevented them popping up in those pockets. But it's been a fine margins. I think these games, you know, I was here for the first game of the season against Tormented. Such fine margins on another day. Olek scores in the first half. Perez is 3 inches to the left. It's in the bottom corner.
And I remember the game against Lexington where they were down a goal in the opening 5 minutes. The fine margins that NCFC had in getting the winner, in getting Rafa's goal that won the game. It was an interception by Lou Young that quickly sparked an attack.
I think that's what makes this league so good, doesn't it? I mean, you're looking at the team. If you're telling me this team's going to finish top and this team's going to finish bottom, you know, good luck to you, because anything could happen.
Yeah, the margin right now between 4th place and 9th place is only 2 points at this early stage of the season. Now in the 86th minute, we still have definitely a good amount of stoppage time remaining. After the injury to Andrew Wheeler-Amanu that kind of took about 4 minutes of game time. So we know we have at least 4. Looks like it might be thinking of probably around 6 or 7.
I think that's a fair bet. I was just thinking about it. I'd love to see through the distance covered for Payne. Unbelievable. He's a right back, wing back, winger.
Sechera to Martinez. Martinez has been a very good conductor in the middle of the park, finding Gebhardt, trying to slip it to Cheney. At this point right now, I think it's keep the ball and only strike it if you desperately need it. And Cheney's now grimacing a little bit.
A touch of cramp, I think, in the big man. As we talked about, energy sapping conditions, really humid here in Carey today.
Payne trying to find Prentice. Falls though to Lou Young.
Got to make something happen now.
Benton sees McLaughlin on a run. Popp running towards the spot. McLaughlin back to Benton. His cross. Adams there to meet it. Out by Sechera. Look at Christian Cheney fighting Navarro and winning the free kick.
It's a great battle, those two, isn't it? Two big bodies. Cheney getting the better of the veteran defender there. He's looking over to the bench, I think, saying, hey, is my job done today?
I put in so much work.
Yeah. He's got tremendous value for this Ford Madison team. The ability to just take the pressure off an out ball every time you got it. Just pump it up to Cheney. He'll make something of it.
It's allowed Madison to basically kill this game. Obviously, the toughest lead to protect is a 2-0 lead, but so far they have done the job since Mitchell Osmond scored the goal in the second half to make things 2-0 in favor of the visitors from Wisconsin. DJ Benton given a talking to by referee Abdu Njai. Obviously, North Carolina, the subs are still trying to press the issue and keep things going, but the energy's kind of been sapped from the field. Heavy touch by Kroll, and outlet pass taken away by Martinez. Sichero. With composure. Now over to Martinez.
I'll tell you what, Brian, you talked about, handing the Man of the Match award to Osmond. I think you could pick out a good number of candidates from this Forward Madison side for the award. And Martinez has been incredibly tidy, goal and assist. You look at Kroll and just watching Mel in and out of possession. He's been phenomenal back there.
Yeah, this game is definitely going to be one of the statements of the weekend. Madison will be back in action at home on May 18th against Northern Colorado. And then they've got that derby match against Union Omaha in Nebraska. And there, you get a look at the run from the captain and winning the foul. Able to read the play so well, the Australian captain.
Yeah, he was coasting in second gear, and when he needed to get there, feeling the effects now, though. Obviously missed the last game.
A bit of help from Shipman and referee Abdu Njai as we have 7 minutes of stoppage time here.
In the second half. 7 minutes.
There you see Matt Glazer out of his chair, still giving encouragement, knowing that still have time to finish this off.
Yeah, they'll want to finish it off with a clean sheet, keep that best defensive record in the league, and get the reward to go with the work today.
Who was there? Christian Chaney trying to get a whistle. Advantage play. Prentice. It's going to be a goal kick. And now Holiday picking things up as DJ Benton provided that sliding challenge. And now I believe play has stopped because the fourth official has called the referee over to the bench. There's been some chirping from people, and the yellow card has been issued, I believe, to one of the assistants. Obviously, the assistants are calling for those fouls at the middle of the field. Navarro. Benton collides with Martinez, free kick. And I believe a yellow card to Martinez. He's made a couple of those challenges, and now he goes into the book. So the man of the match with a goal and an assist. He also gets a yellow card.
Just filling out his bingo card, I think, right? Check.
I think he's got it. Clean sheet will definitely give you bingo.
Forward Madison yellow in added time.
Free kick here for North Carolina as Shaq Adams directing the troops.
Richmond kickers tied it up 2-2.
Adams puts in a good spot, is punched away by Shipman. Foul on the clearance. Madison will kill time. Summersall pleading his case.
Yep, it's all kicking off. Lexington leading 1-0 against Charlotte. And Northern Colorado leading 2-1 at 1 Knoxville. So another topsy-turvy weekend in USL League One.
And this one is definitely going to be the result. This is the top team in USL League One. North Carolina FC being undone by the one team that has not lost so far this year. Forward Madison has had 4 draws out of their first 5 games. And they are going to come through with possibly the biggest win at the start of their season.
Yeah, and that sets up Wednesday really nicely here, doesn't it, at Wake Med Soccer Park, with Richmond coming down 85. Coming off the back of, if they can get that result in Greenville, trailing 2-0 at half-time to go 2-2.
Sachero trying to slide into Macias. Flag is up for offsides. Holiday was trying to clear the ball. We're in the 95th minute. We've played 4 of the 7. You see Madison going with 5 at the back as Sachero is tracking Adams' run. And this Madison defense, very resolute in terms of its organization, in terms of its preparation, in terms of their communication, and in terms of their industry. They have snuffed out North Carolina's attack. The closest that NCFC came to goal was in the 3rd minute when Luis Perez struck the post, and Oleg Sanderson had a great opportunity that Shipman saved. Those are the 2 biggest chances that NCFC had, and they've only had a couple of half chances in this second half.
Yeah, I think the disappointing thing for North Carolina FC will be, this will be their 2nd defeat out of 5 at home, and the funny thing is, away from home, they're perfect, 3-0. So, going to try and get that result midweek against Richmond, get that win streak back intact.
Adams is crossed, dealt with by Osmond. It falls to Pop. Try to look at all those pink jerseys. Pop was calling for a handball. But the number of pink jerseys swarming NCFC attackers.
Yeah, in the 96th minute, unbelievable. But that's been the
McLaughlin.
Wow.
One of the better chances that NCFC has had late in this game.
Maldonado just hangs it up there. You don't fancy McLaughlin here, but Mel just misjudges it the first time in the game. He gets good contact on it, but just going back to that sliding tackle there, the 3 Mingo players sliding in, that's been the real ingredient for the success, is just that commitment to the defensive side of the game.
Yellow card to the goalkeeper Shipman for time wasting. So we're in the final minute of stoppage time. It looks like they might tack on a few more seconds here. But the Flamingos have put in the work. Pop. There you see Madison getting back, and again, the defense clears it. Maldonado towards Blanco. Heavy touch, drifts him out to the byline, and it goes out of play.
Forward Madison yellow card in added time to their keeper, number 55, Bert Shipman.
The effort that Madison have put in, a thing of beauty for head coach Matt Glazer. As we are into added time of added time. Prentice puts it on a plate for Gebhardt. Cheney and Macias in the box. It's Christian Cheney and a save by Holiday right at the death. And that is the full-time whistle. What a performance by forward Madison, led by Isidro Martinez with a goal and an assist. They shut out North Carolina FC 2-0, Andrew.
Yeah, full credit to forward Madison. They've come in here to carry North Carolina, put in a tremendous shift on the defensive side of the ball, and then won those small battles on the other side of the ball. Martinez with a goal and an assist. Captain Mitch Osman with the second goal to really seal the deal. But great performance from them, and we'll look forward to more great games here at Wake Med Soccer Park to come.
Yeah, they'll be back in action on Wednesday against the Richmond Kickers. For our director, Kyle Lang, and our entire crew here in Cary, North Carolina, for my broadcast partner, Andrew Tate, I'm Brian Ware, saying thanks again for watching this presentation of USL League One action, where it is North Carolina FC 0, Forward Madison FC 2, and you saw it here on ESPN+.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.